The cargo cleared for print, UAE wartime deliveries to Ethiopia. The number of cargo flights between the United Arab Emirates and Ethiopia has left little doubt that the UAE has taken an active role in supporting the Ethiopian military in its fight against Tigray forces in the northern parts of Ethiopia. In 2 months, some 76 cargo aircraft flying out of the UAE landed in Ethiopia. While some of the large cargo aircraft appear to have landed at Addis Ababa International Airport, in most other cases they landed at Harar Meda Air Base, undoubtedly to unload their military cargo away from prying eyes and cameras. Still, relatively little is known about the types of weaponry and other military equipment that the UAE has supplied to the Ethiopian National Defense Force (ENF). What is known is that the Ethiopian military is deploying a large VTOL-type unmanned combat aerial vehicle UCAV armed with 2 mortar rounds supplied by the UAE, while Ethiopia's Republican Guard makes use of at least 3 types of Emirates-supplied carbines and sniper rifles. It is likely only a matter of time before more UAE-supplied weaponry starts showing up in footage from the war in Tigray. In the meantime, the Ethiopian government made a rare acknowledgement regarding some of the equipment received from the UAE, but rather than consisting of guns or ammunition, the donated cargo on this occasion instead consisted of 50 Toyota Land Cruiser ambulances equipped for basic emergency services. The delivery of 50 ambulances would account for the cargo content of 17 out of 68 confirmed flights by Il-76 to Ethiopia. This means that the content of 51 Il-76 cargo aircraft is unaccounted for, likely consisting of various types of armament that have yet to make their public debut in Ethiopia. Although one might argue that the delivery of ambulances to Ethiopia's health sector is completely unrelated to the conflict in the Tigray region, the UAE single quotas decision to supply Ethiopia with Toyota Land Cruisers as ambulances strongly suggests that most of these vehicles will immediately be pressed into service with the Ethiopian military in the Tigray region instead. The excellent off-road capabilities of the Toyota Land Cruiser 4X4 and the fact that the vehicles appear to have been drawn from military stocks, judging by their khaki paint job, certainly hints that this is indeed their intended use. At least part of the contents carried aboard the UAE air bridge between Ethiopia and the UAE has meanwhile been identified. Their ostensibly civilian status set aside, it doesn't seem far-fetched that many of these ambulances will end up being used on the front line to transport wounded Ethiopian soldiers to hospitals. If this indeed is the case, it will be just one more facet of a conflict that is still growing in its totality, forcing its unwilling participants to commit ever greater amounts of manpower and equipment, lest they eventually succumb to the pressures of war.
Ishtar, the Arabian Allat, the female consort of Allah, and the very name of Allah as the same deity, are all found in these inscriptions, along with Allah's identity as a Venus goddess, symbolized by the crescent moon, that's why he's called the moon god, and the planet Venus. These are still used as symbology for Allah today. The crescent moon and Venus, appearing like a star next to the crescent moon, which is the morning star, Venus, the morning star. Lucifer, the morning star, ring a bell? In essence, this mother of harlots, which ruled the kings of the earth from ancient times until now, is the very transsexual deity Allah, whose worship covers the entire region even today and is at this moment sweeping over the earth like a plague.
And staying in Ethiopia, the United Arab Emirates has agreed to invest $3 billion into the Ethiopian economy. Under the deal, UAE investors are allowed to construct large-scale real estate and hospitality developments. Talking to CGTN, Ethiopia's Communication Affairs Minister Ahmed Shide called the investment significant. He added that the $1 billion deposit into Ethiopia's central bank will play a big role in easing foreign currency shortage issues in the country and increasing investment capacity.
One of the main outcomes is in terms of investment and development financing. Overall, more than $3 billion finance has been agreed yesterday, which also includes $1 billion as a deposit in the National Bank of Ethiopia, which is going to boost the forex reserve capacity of the country. That will contribute significantly to ease the shortage of foreign currency. That will significantly support our growth and development.